Hi everyone, Alex Tardy here, National Weather Service, here to talk to you about the potential for strong Santa Ana winds early this week into midweek. Also, cold temperatures in the mountains, much colder than we've seen so far this winter. There is the potential for damaging winds and also extreme fire behavior if there are ignitions. Mostly dry weather, even though the cold front on Tuesday could bring some showers. We're looking at prolonged dry offshore flow into mid-January. Let's take a look at a few things. We're focused this week on Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday will be the strongest wind and also the most widespread and the most severe fire weather danger. So it doesn't mean there will be fires. It means if there's ignition, fires could spread rapidly. However, we are looking at the potential for wind damage, especially along the foothills of the mountains. So the winds come in early Tuesday, but the strongest winds are Tuesday night and Wednesday, then a gradual decrease on Thursday. So during this period, especially on Wednesday and Thursday, very low humidity will accompany these Santa Ana winds. This is an index not issued by the National Weather Service, but by the U.S. Forest Service, and it's called the Santa Ana Wildfire Threat Index. It's indicating the potential for large aggressive fires if there are ignitions, especially Tuesday and Wednesday as shown here. Now, part of the reason, combined with the low humidity and the high winds, it's the fuel moisture, the vegetation. The native vegetation is already dry and will continue to be drier as these winds and this dry air blows across the terrain. So the fuel is ripe, if you will, for any wildfires. The summary of what we're looking at, the reason why the fuel is ripe, why conditions are so dry, it's the third driest start to the winter or water year. Only 2017-18 at this time was either equal or a little drier. We're looking at cold weather coming in, especially for our mountains, because the system's coming down directly from the north. We'll go over that. Santa Ana winds could bring impactful wind. That means wind damage, effects on high-profile vehicles on our interstates, trees, power lines. It also means fire weather danger because low humidity will accompany it, especially on Wednesday and Thursday. We are looking for less wind on Thursday, but the wind will continue to blow offshore, and actually the offshore wind could return over the weekend. What do we mean by particularly dangerous situation? Well, we're looking at this for Wednesday morning. It's a combination of things, combination of ingredients in the severe weather. Strong damaging winds, that means wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, low humidity, dry fuel or dry vegetation. We discussed all those. And then if there's an ignition, extreme wildfire behavior. So that's where this particular dangerous situation wording comes from. This is mainly for the San Bernardino Mountains, the Inland Empire, Orange County, and then up through LA. Some recent wind events that you might recall are listed here. These all occurred in strong Santa Ana winds. This is the type of damage we're concerned about happening with this Santa Ana wind. Trees toppling over, landing on objects, vehicles, homes. Trees falling in parks, like shown here. Trees landing in neighborhoods. And at this point, these type of situations are unpredictable. This could happen anywhere, especially in the areas downwind of the mountains or in the foothills where the valley meets the mountain areas. This is the weather pattern that's driving these winds. So the storm is coming down from Canada, directly from the north, following that white line. Behind there will be high pressure, cold, dense air, and the wind likes to blow from high to low. And normally in a Santa Ana wind event, it can only make it through the mountain gaps. This one's strong enough that it'll go up and over the mountains as well. We call that mountain waves. Now, the system settles out on Tuesday over the southwest, like shown here. So that's what brings us the really cold air. That's what's going to bring the cold temperatures, blustery conditions to the mountains. And then you have that surface high pressure, which is cold, dense air over the Great Basin. And the wind blows from high to low. So we have winds at all level with this situation, down low and all the way up to the jet stream. That maximizes on Wednesday, especially Wednesday morning, Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, because that upper low is parked over northern Baja and we're on the wrong side. We're on the dry, windy side. And that high pressure continues to settle in over the Great Basin at the surface. Now the weather pattern starts to retreat on Thursday, so we still have winds at all levels, but the gradient or the magnitude is not as strong on Thursday. And we start to see warm air punching into the west coast as the jet stream shifts and the storm moves out towards the east. Now for the weekend, I mentioned offshore flow continuing because the pattern doesn't really change, even though it's not as cold, not as windy. We still have another new weather system dropping out of Canada over the Great Basin, and then that produces the high to low pressure gradient for more Santa Ana wind. Now, particularly when the storm first arrives Tuesday morning, it will be abrupt. And look where the cold air is coming from. It's coming directly from the Great Basin, okay, and the Rockies. I drew a white line to show you where the wind is coming from and where it's going to. Right behind that upper level area of low pressure. Now on Wednesday, the system settles over the northern Baja region, and we see winds still coming directly from the east and then blowing to the south across San Diego. That produces the coldest air we've seen this season over the region. Okay, this is just a snapshot of the widespread winds that are expected starting early Tuesday with that cold front. I highlighted a little bit here. Notice the winds really ramp up over the San Bernardino Mountains, Inland Empire, and Orange County early Tuesday morning. Then as we go through the day on Tuesday and into Tuesday evening, they become much more widespread. They increase in intensity and become more widespread, even reaching into parts of San Diego County Tuesday evening. Now, late Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning, take a look at the winds here. And this is when we expect some of the strongest winds, which will continue all the way through Wednesday. So not only are they widespread, but they're even stronger in intensity. I highlighted a couple areas here where you can see some really powerful wind corridors that set up over the ocean and then also downwind of the mountains across our interior valleys. And keep in mind on Wednesday, those winds could spread out over really any area downwind of those mountains on Wednesday. I also want to show the humidity. So initially, there could be some showers over our mountains, okay, when the cold front comes in early Tuesday. So we're looking at higher humidity Tuesday. But by Tuesday night and Wednesday, look how low the humidity is. It's below 20% most areas. And so we're looking at drier air moving in Tuesday night and Wednesday. The maximum winds are shown here. So these are the maximum wind gusts that we expect between Tuesday morning and Wednesday afternoon. You can see those strong winds make it all the way to the I-15 corridor. They make it all the way to the coast in Orange County, and they're really strong along the foothill areas as well. Now I mentioned cold air. That cold air comes in Tuesday morning. Look at these low temperatures in the high deserts and in the mountains Tuesday morning. We're talking about 20s with windy conditions. Now, don't be surprised if you're up in the mountain areas if you see a few showers, rain and snow with those lowering snow levels, but it should not amount to much Tuesday morning. Now, the minimum humidity after any of that precipitation will fall in the teens across the valleys and across the coastal areas. Not as dry in our mountain areas though, because they'll see some clouds and a little bit of precipitation. Now, come Wednesday, it gets colder and more blustery. So Wednesday morning, look at these temperatures in the 40s, even some 30s across our inland valleys with windy conditions in a lot of areas. So typically we see cold temperatures with no wind. We're going to see combination of wind and cold temperatures Wednesday morning. Now, temperatures don't recover very well in the mountains on Wednesday, staying mainly in the 30s to mid 40s. We do finally see some recovery along with the winds, getting up near 70 on the coast. So this in general is a cold Santa Ana wind. Now the Santa Ana winds brings that drier air I talked about on Wednesday. So humidity will lower Tuesday and Tuesday night, but the lowest humidity will occur on Wednesday, and that's also when we're expecting the strongest and most widespread winds from the Santa Ana on Wednesday. Another cold start on Thursday, but much milder in the afternoon as shown here. So we'll start losing the wind. It'll be much less windy on Thursday, and we'll finally see some milder temperatures working their way in the afternoon, even for our mountains. Warmer on Friday still, with light winds on Friday. And here's what we were referring to about one of the driest starts to the winter or the water year, which starts October 1st. San Diego now slipping to number 2 driest all time, just behind 2018. And then you go up to Riverside and you can see they're sitting at number 4. So across most of Southern California, there's either been no precipitation or very light amounts of rain and snow since the start of the water year, October 1st, as shown in the map to the right. And we've also slipped into more of a drought situation in Southern California, as shown here, the moderate drought across all of our region due to the just plain lack of rain and snow so far this year. When you rank it, you can see Southern California is ranked top 5 driest. NorCal is actually ranked top 5 wettest, so opposites. And it's all because of the weather pattern. This has been our prevailing weather pattern, sending storms across far northern California, sending atmospheric river after atmospheric river. Now, if you notice, this weather pattern is much different than the weather pattern we're experiencing this week, but we're still on the dry side of the jet stream even this week. And finally, some links and resources. Find out what alerts are in effect in your area. Most places are under red flag warnings and high wind warnings, but not everywhere. You can monitor the wind and weather conditions in your area as well, the links here, and see what the outlooks are as we go forward through January. Have a plan in case there's a wildfire in your area. Do what you can around your house so that unsecure objects are put in a safer place and they don't blow around during the potential strong Santa Ana winds Tuesday and Wednesday. Stay safe, everyone.